We've been talking a lot about comorbidities here, particularly in the post-presentations, all sorts of different aspects of diabetes. Now for something on dementia and diabetes. And with me, Katharina Mattishent actually from Germany, but via the UK, which is a bit confusing. Yeah. But tell us about your poster.
Yep, so we did a retrospective cohort study using a primary care database, the CPRD database, and we wanted to evaluate the association of hypoglycemia and dementia in older people with diabetes and what effect that has on mortality. So what we did is we followed up the people who are included in our study over a 5-year period, and what we found was that older people with diabetes who suffer from low blood sugars, from hypoglycemia, if they had coexisting dementia, then there was a 67% increased risk of them dying during that follow-up period.
I mean, that's enormous.
It is an increased risk, definitely.
And were you surprised to find that it was that order of magnitude?
We weren't sure what order of magnitude we would find. We, I suppose, expected to find that this vulnerable group would be at higher risk, because you could argue that dementia is a marker of frailty, so they're at higher risk of dying. But I think what we're trying to highlight is that although clinicians probably know that low blood sugars are harmful for people, especially older people, we didn't know how big the effect would be in older people with coexisting dementia.
And actually for care home managers and people who are looking after frail people with dementia, that means really much more close monitoring of what they're eating, for example, and not letting them become hypoglycemic.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And also I think one of the other aspects we want to try and convey is that a way of dealing with this vulnerable group is to try and maybe de-intensify the management regimes and also consider more intense monitoring through continuous glucose monitoring, maybe, because really the advent of continuous glucose monitoring has been very focused on younger adults, but not so much on older, frail people. And our thoughts are that maybe intermittent use of continuous glucose monitoring in this group, especially if you introduce a new drug, say insulin, or if you increase the dose of an existing other diabetes medication, might be a worthwhile avenue to explore.
Thank you. Well, some very interesting and important points from that poster, and you can find it in full on EASD.org.